Well, we covered this on Friday. Danny Masterson just got convicted of 2 of 3 counts of rape, and he's been sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for it. Now, the accuser who didn't get that charge conviction, Chrissy Bixler, was a former live-in girlfriend of Danny Masterson, and she has decided to go after Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, among other former co-stars and producers that worked with him in the past when he was on that 70s show. And it's because they wrote character recommendation letters for Danny Masterson before his sentencing was announced and after his conviction was announced. So they wanted their character letters to, influence the judge to give him an easier sentence, lighter sentence. And a lot of it was, think of the children, think about his daughter, who you're going to be, ripping her father away from her, and that's expected and all that. But the funny part of it is that the letters really just sound like, I know my friend is a rapist, but at least he's anti-drugs. And that's actually a core principle of being a Scientologist, right? Is that you're anti, any type of medical intervention, substances, things like that.
Which is interesting because they talk about how he was accused of drugging.
Which is,
the women,
ironic given the accusation that he used drugs to incapacitate the women that he is convicted of graping. And these are 20-year-old claims. So, and there's no physical evidence. So it is controversial, and Scientology being involved, you have to wonder the bias is involved in the jury, but a conviction is a conviction. There's not really any room to debate about it now. Right.
Yeah.
Except for Chrissy Bixler. Chrissy Bixler is the one that didn't get the conviction that she wanted. And now it seems like she's on the warpath, and anybody who supports Danny Masterson is in her crosshairs.
I know she's been coming out against House and Habit, and
she called House and Habit, one of the independent journalists covering the case, a cult and grape apologist.
Yeah.
And said that she's not going to let this slide anymore.
Yeah.
Which, what does that imply? A lawsuit?
It means fall in line and don't even look for the truth. Don't even look for anything beyond what I say is the truth.
An independent journalist has no reason to listen to you because they're their own boss.
Yeah.
That's kind of the benefit of working for yourself and, being interested in reporting the truth instead of spinning something for an outlet.
And I've seen these go the other various ways. I saw House and Habit has her take on it, and
she's more skeptical.
Andy Signor has his take on it, which seems to be more in favor of trusting the conviction.
I don't know if I sway either way.
I don't either.
What do you think?
Look,
I think he probably did it.
If I'm going to give you my boilerplate on the fence answer, do I believe it's 110% possible that he most likely did this? Yes. Do I believe that it's very, very hard to trust any conviction that's 20 years old with no physical evidence to speak of? Yeah. Also, yes. So the problem is,
does that set a
bad
somewhat
standard.
Dangerous precedent? Yeah. Probably.
When you I do think that there's something strong about the idea that 10 guilty people go free than one innocent person spend a day in jail. Is he that innocent person? I have no idea, but I think the principle is strong. And I think that that's something that we used to at some point here in America used to take very, very seriously.
I think the interesting part of this is that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have now posted basically a hostage apology video for having ever written these recommendation letters. And they thought that these letters were never going to be publicized. But before we show that video, I wanted to read a little bit from those letters. Ashton Kutcher's letter said, "As a friend, Danny has been nothing but a positive influence on me. He's extraordinarily honest and intentional human being. Over 25-year relationship, I don't ever recall him lying to me. He's taught me about being direct and confronting issues in life and relationships head on, resolving them and moving forward. Danny is a person that is consistently there for you when you need him. He's a role model." Praising him for, he's such a good father, he's such a good friend.
Here's the thing, Mary, if tomorrow they were like, Mary shot a guy in an alley and he died, and you
would you write one of these
I
for me?
I would write one of these for you.
Thank you.
I would be like, look, I know she shot the dude. I know this. But she was always nice to me.
Yeah, exactly.
She was always nice to me.
It's that line that gets repeated. And Mila Kunis called him an amazing older brother figure that she met when they worked together on the show, because when she was on that 70s show, she was younger than the rest of the cast.
Yeah,
she was 14. And he was the oldest kid on the show. And despite some creepier clips where Danny Masterson seems to... I don't know. Egg on
Ashton Kutcher to
jokes about, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis being an adult and a child in a romantic relationship on a TV show. She seems to claim here that nothing but positive experiences with Danny Masterson. But here's the video. Let's just watch that
Here's
video.
what they posted after the internet came for them for their letters. Here we go.
Of the pain that we are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse, or rape.
There's someone standing behind the camera with index cards for Mila. Like, she's really struggling here.
She's not a good actress.
With the emotions, conveying the emotions of grief and remorse.
He's very clearly the more gifted performer.
Yeah.
He's very clearly the more gifted performer, But
this is very snaky language that they're using, because they say, we support victims, but you won't just come out and say one way or the other, we support Danny Masterson's alleged victims. You won't say that, but you also won't just stand for your convictions and say, we're being loyal to Danny Masterson based on our personal experiences with him. We believe that he's innocent because he's our friend, and just come right out and say that you have a bias toward him. Like, one way or the other, don't pussyfoot around.
Who is it?
But House and Habit was praising them at first before they put this apology video out, saying even if Danny Masterson is guilty, but according to their personal experiences with them, they feel strongly that he's not guilty of those crimes, then that shows they have some moral fiber in them, that they would go against the grain and do what's not popular in the post-Me Too era by defending him. But then they just threw all that out of the window, and now no one supports them.
It's also funny, it's interesting that they're the ones getting dragged when there was far more people writing letters than just them.
Right, exactly.
We've got not just them, we've
other
got
Hollywood actors.
Deborah Jo Rupp from that 70s show. We've got Kurtwood Smith from that 70s show, the mom and the dad, Giovanni Ribisi, William Baldwin, Jordan Masterson, so his brother.
There are all of his siblings who are also somewhat high-profile actors who face scrutiny for this as well.
There's a $20 one there from Francisco Sanchez Jr. Thank you, Francisco.
America, a nation where you can get 5 years in North Dakota for running over an 18-year-old Trump supporter. Also the same nation where you get 30 years to life with virtually no physical evidence.
Yeah, that guy got
I didn't know
got
that
5. The guy got the guy who so on the same day that they convicted Enrico Tarrio for 22 years for seditious activity, the guy who ran over the 18-year-old Trump supporter got 5 years in prison.
Wow.
So it's
there are a lot of incongruencies in our imperfect system.
Exactly.
And
should we watch the clip, the 2000s clip of him?
There are a lot of people resurfacing some clips that make Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson look bad and make Mila Kunis honestly look like a victim.
It was the 90s.
But it was a different culture.
It was a different culture, guys. It was the 2000s. Here we go.
Hilary Duff is in Lizzie McGuire. She also has an album out. She's going to be in a movie called Cheaper by the Dozen. And she's one of the girls that we're all waiting for to turn 18, along with the Olsen twins. Any 15-year-old.
Ended up getting the job, and I didn't know. Yeah, and she was as hot as she was, you know,
14.
14, she was even hotter. But I'm not allowed to say that.
She was 14 when we started the show. I was like 19, right?
Right.
And they're like, okay, you guys are going to be making out in this scene. And I'm like thinking like, wait, this is like slightly illegal,
that's
right?
probably your first kiss ever, right?
It was my first kiss. Why don't you tell them a bet you made with Danny about our first kiss?
No, it wasn't the first kiss.
No,
It was like
go
a
ahead.
second or third kiss.
It was the first. It was like the first week.
No, it was not the first week.
Whatever. Let me tell you what happened.
No, let me tell you what happened.
No. Okay, so I've never kissed a guy. So I was so. I mean, you know, Ash was attractive, and I was a 14-year-old little girl, and I was extremely scared for my life.
Sure.
And he was very nice about it. He was like, "Oh, don't worry." So I was like, "Okay." Then Danny goes and goes, "Dude, I'll give you $10 if you French kiss her." What would you stick your tongue in my mouth or some?
What? No, no.
For $10.
You're making it sound like it was like really. Okay, Dan, we had a little side bet going.
Yeah.
Like,
Which was?
It wasn't very
as to
exciting.
whether or not, you're kissing on the show with boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
You would use tongue, right, Rosie? I mean, you would.
From That 70 Show, and you're watching In the Crease TV.
Hi, I'm Ashton Kutcher, and I'm from That 70 Show TV. No, That 70 Show too.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm doing this is not because I think In the Crease is good, but because Josh told me Mila would sit on my lap and like, it feels good.
They ended up married, but not till years later, because he was married to Demi Moore.
Who also had a weird age gap scandal.
With him,
that
yeah.
we talked about.
But they got married in 2015, so years after the show ended.
Yeah. But didn't they date when they were both on the show?
I don't know. Maybe. So
at least in an unspoken way. I don't know. But with all that context, here is Chrissy Bixler's Instagram story where she made vaguely threatening statements toward the both of them.
Yeah.
Again, this is Danny Masterson's ex-girlfriend, accuser who did not get the outcome she wanted. Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone that night. You called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor. So she is mentioning February 21st, 2001, because this was the date that a woman Ashton Kutcher was dating at the time was murdered. This is a solved case. They found the guy who did it. He was a serial killer. It was not Ashton Kutcher. Yet his fingerprints were on her door because they had a date planned. He went there and couldn't get into the house while she was dead inside.
Yeah.
And he told the police this, and they obviously didn't end up investigating him as a suspect. But she seems to be saying, I mean, this is a really huge claim. She is claiming that she has proof, or at least a witness account, of a plot for murder that was wrongly convicted
So
of
they're
some
saying
other
that this
guy.
guy didn't do it, that he was innocent and Ashton
She's
did it.
claiming that she's sitting on evidence. That just makes you look bad. You're just sitting on evidence of a guy who's a murderer all these years and only used it when it was beneficial for you.
He's probably in the chat. Serial killer says I'm innocent.
Yeah. Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you for letting us know, buddy.
And then this is her note to Mila Kunis. I pray you begin to process what you experienced as a child on that set. Your old interviews are very telling. I encourage everyone to watch them and decide for yourself what you hear and see. Do so before they get scrubbed from the internet. I also know what happened in Toronto and after, whatever that means. Question, if that's what you view as a normal relationship with a big brother figure, then I feel very sad for you, and I hope you consider getting into therapy. You all must forget I was there the whole time those first 5 years of that 70s show. I remember everything. So is she hinting that Danny Masterson and Mila Kunis had some kind of weird statutory situation?
Also, is she saying like she was cool with him killing this girl before?
Yeah,
but
she
just
was
not
like
now?
sitting on evidence that Ashton Kutcher is
Murdered
actually
someone?
a cold-blooded murderer,
Yeah.
but decided to wait until it was convenient for her own ends to let everyone
She's
know.
like, I'll wait till Danny Masterson gets convicted, then I'll figure out whether I want to convict you for whether I want to turn you in for the murder I'm saying that you committed.
So House and Habit has been posting about this,
Yep.
and she's just saying this is a really huge, weighty claim, and she's throwing it out there like it's just TMZ gossip. Also, Christina Ricci posted some shade at Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis for their recommendation letters for Danny Masterson.
I also didn't see what does Donna think of this? The actress who plays. I saw something. Did somebody in the chat? Yeah, somebody in the chat just mentioned it.
Is she not in the list?
She wasn't in the list.
Well, also Topher Grace on that, who was from that.
Who didn't
70s
get
show.
along with Danny Masterson.
Didn't get along with Danny Masterson and did not write a letter. He's getting praised now for kind of just minding his own business, which is nice. Christina Ricci said,
Laura
so sometimes people we have loved and admired do horrible things. They might not do these things to us, and we only know who they were to us, but that doesn't mean they didn't do the horrible things, and to discredit the abused is a crime. People we know as awesome guys can be predators and abusers. It's tough to accept, but we have to. If we say we support victims, women, children, men, boys, then we must be able to take this stance. Unfortunately, I've known lots of awesome guys who were lovely to me who have been proven to be abusers privately. I've also had personal experience with this. Believe victims. It's not easy to come forward. It's not easy to get a conviction.
Serial Killer says, how about Red? Red, my friend, is in that list. Kurtwood Smith is in the list of people who wrote a letter on his behalf.
Yeah. Lots of people.
Yeah, it's I think Laura Prepon or Prepon or whatever her name, the lady who played Donna, is kind of a social justice activist. I could be misremembering.
Can't
that,
be seen having loyalty to
a friend,
straight white man accused of rape.
I could be misremembering that, but yeah. Also, guys, somebody pointed out. They said somebody posted. It says, I know their PR team told them to sit in front of an innocuous, normal person-looking wall, but unfortunately for them, I have also watched their architectural digest house tour and know exactly where this was filmed. Here's a photo of it.
This is rich. They're doing their apology video poolside, probably with pina coladas out of frame.
Yeah, it's very hard.
In their luxury home.
It's kind of like
their PR agent was like, make sure you go to that corner over there, that nondescript corner over there.
It's like in the middle of COVID when they're like, when all the celebrities would post their "We're all in this together" videos, and
from their jacuzzis.
But they're in these immaculate sunrooms with like art on the walls and
delivered food.
Yeah, like it's very hard to appear
delivered everything.
What if all of this
services.
ended up being an episode of Punk'd? That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, did Punk'd? When did it get discontinued?
But Ashton Kutcher hosted Punk'd, so we could.
Did it get passed off to some other host?
I think so.
And
for
then
a while,
ended.
And then ended. Yeah. It's like, haha, you got punked, Danny. You're not actually going to jail.
Celebrity cameo Punk'd.
I mean, Punk'd was all celebrities. It was all
right, but they would have a celebrity cameo as the host of it.
Oh, I don't
Punk'd's
know.
another celebrity.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so it's these kind of cases are the hardest to discuss because at the end of the day, it comes down to like. He said, she said, without in the absence of evidence, like I'm willing to go with the idea that, look, if the courts found him guilty, my hope is that there was strong evidence, but believing that came up 20 years later is very hard for me to believe. I don't know who to trust, who to believe in a case like this. I do know that Hollywood is full of scumbags on all sides. So at the end of the day, your best choice is to just not believe any of them.
I just would so much more appreciate if Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis and all of these people would just come right out and say, like, I have a bias to support my brother, friend, colleague, etc. Because my personal experiences with him have been everything positive, and I have no personal experience with him acting anything like what these accusers are saying. What are they supposed to do in their conscience at that point?
It's because
if you did believe all victims, you would end up throwing innocent people in jail.
Yeah.
You can't just keep throwing out these universal absolute mantras about victims and everything. Like, you can't do it because it does a disservice to everyone involved.
And in these cases with most of these celebrities, like their image is part of their business model. So they live a very different life than, like somebody pointed out, they said that these were leaked. I said, they're not leaked documents. They were part of the public record, I believe.
But they, for some reason, thought
that they weren't going
to come out.
But when you're a celebrity and your image is part of your business model, it puts them in a very, very tough spot. So they then have to decide what's more important to me: my friendship of 25 years or my future as a celebrity.
Right, but if your friendship of 25 years wasn't that important in the first place, why did you even write the letter?
No, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely, yeah.
Let the consequences fall where they may for that guy.
Yep.
You didn't need to write the letter in the first place, and then you got yourself into this shit pit.
What he should have done is been like, I remember that day when Danny took the last lasagna at the fucking at the craft service table, and I'm still pissed about it to this freaking day. He got the last piece of cake, and I've never forgiven him. He's not getting a letter. Go to jail, Danny. Yeah. Go to jail. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.